What's up, YouTube? So today I had a thought that I wanted to share with you because this year has been really, really crazy. Especially seeing how people whom we thought that were to keep the belt for a really, really long time, actually losing to people, to fighters whom we thought will never reach that level. And it's really made me think more about UFC fights, and it's really not making sense anymore. Really being so unpredictable at the point that I'm also asking myself, what if Islam Makhachev will face this same fate as the previous opponents who we thought that were champions who were invincible? What if Ian Garry were to beat Islam Makhachev, but in a way that we couldn't imagine? Because to be honest, when Justin Gagey won against Paddy Pimblett, that's where the this started to become really strange. After that fight, the fights that followed were becoming really they were not making any sense at all, because starting from uh, Jack Della Maddalena, seeing how he lost against Carlos Prates. I mean, Carlos Prates is a really dangerous fighter. He's a really dangerous fighter, and it was obvious that if a guy like Jack Della Maddalena makes some mistake, Carlos Prates will make use of that to do his best. But I wasn't expect. I mean, Carlos Prates winning over Jack Della Maddalena is not something that is shocking, but it's the way Jack lost. He lost in a really embarrassing way, because it was if Carlos Prates made him look like someone who doesn't belong uh, in a boxing fight. Really, like he was really scared of Carlos Prates, and he, as soon as he tried to go to the takedown in the first round, we could notice that. But to be honest, what occurred to Jack Della Maddalena is not something that is so shocking, because Carlos Prates is a really dangerous kind of striker. But what started to really bother me, especially when we talk about UFC fights, is the fight between Khamzat Chimaev and Sean Strickland. The first fight was going as I expected, but in the second rounds, as soon as Khamzat tried to go for the takedown, and when he decided to quit and let himself sleep on the ground, and then seeing Sean Strickland just taking the opportunity, it was so shocking to see. And I was so confused about that, because I thought Kamzat Chimaev, seeing how he dealt with a guy like Dricus Duplessis, who uh, who beat twice Sean Strickland, it was so illogical seeing the way he lost against Sean Strickland. And no one could have predicted this scenario. It was really hard to predict such a scenario, because I thought Kamzat would do his best to not lose against a guy like Sean Strickland, who talks so much shit. And it was the first fight that shocked me the most. But the fight which embarrassed me the most among all of those fights was Ilya Topuria against Justin Gagey. And okay, I can get that Kamzat Chimaev was because was some reason, like people brought this argument that it was because of his cardio. He made a really bad weight cut, and this might affected the fight against Sean Strickland. But with Ilya Topuria, what was the excuse though? Because for Ilya Topuria, we know how he's so disciplined. We know how he has some. He even showed a video that on his house he have special equipment or gadgets that are so advanced to make a fighter look so good and really helping him to train at his best. We're seeing how he's so talented and so um, not just in boxing, but also grappling, submissions. Like he has many tools and talents that he could have brought in order to fight with a guy like um, Justin Gagey. But the way the fights um, played itself, it was really shocking and hard to watch. It was really hard to watch, seeing how a champion, a king like that, could um, fell at that point. Not even in a close, not from a close from a close scenario where it is so close, and then we're coming for the judges to finally say who win or which one who lost between both of them. But then he lost by TKO, and this was so shocking because the it was really the opposite or so contrary to what people thought might happen to Justin Gagey. And yeah, this is why following what happened at the UFC White House, especially the way uh, Ilya Topuria lost, it was so unbelievable. And to be honest, up until now, I'm not getting how his face was so damaged at the point that he couldn't do anything at all. It's looked like he had no solution against Justin Gagey. But saying that, I want to bring a little bit of nuance because Islam Makhachev is not. Islam Makhachev and Ilya Topuria are really different types of fighters. And not only the way they fight, but even their personalities. Because Islam Makhachev is not the guy who is so sure of himself at the point that he starts to disrespect his opponents or uh, make himself higher than everyone. That's not the type of Islam Makhachev. Even when he fought Jack de la Maddalena, whom we knew that he would beat Jack de la Maddalena. Uh, it wasn't. Um, he didn't disrespect Jack de la Maddalena, saying things such as "I'm gonna beat you in one round and then it will be over. You have no chance, no chance at all." He's not that type of guy. And seeing how he's so technical and his IQ is just one of the best IQs uh, compared to any most of the UFC fighters. He has the best IQ ever. And Justin Gagey won because of his IQ. It was mainly the work was done mainly because of his fighting IQ. And he even explained that after the fight between him and Ilya Topuria, he showed basically what was his technique. But for Islam Makhachev, his it, this will shock me the most, even more than Ilya Topuria, because he has those all these tools, and he's such a really humble guy, and losing to a guy like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, Ian Gary is a really really strong fighter. He's really strong, and he's really best when it comes to striking. Like his striking is just uh, one of the best in the UFC. And but I don't think Islam Makhachev will um, really try to outbox Ian Gary, seeing how he's so good with when it comes to striking. Because if you go back and see the way he fought Jack Della Maddalena, his plan wasn't to go out there and try to prove to Jack that he can beat him when it comes to striking and boxing. That was not his plan. His plan was to maybe box a little bit, but then find some holes where he can trap him and then go for the takedown. That was his plan. And I think it will just, he will follow up with the same plan. He will try to maybe, because he has to box anyway. There is no way he can fight Ian Gary without using his boxing at, uh, 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 like he has to use his boxing, because if you want to make it really unpredictable, that's what he needs to do. But I think he was follow the same plan and go for the takedown in order to go and go for a submission. That's his plan. That's what people are expecting, even Ian Gary. But I'm not saying it will be an easy fight. It won't be an easy fight at all, because the way Ian Gary fought Shafkat, it was a really close fight. Shafkat is one of the best, and it was a really close fight. And um, so Ian Gary is not someone who has to be taken for granted, because um, even Islam Makachev knows that. I don't think he's seeing Ian Gary as someone who is an easy opponent. I don't think so. I think he'll be humble enough to train hard and try to do his best, as he did for Dustin. Um, Dustin Poirier, the way he did against Volkanovski, or even Jack Della Maddalena. I think he'll do the same, and if he does the same, I think he has a little bit more chance to win over Ian Gary. I'm not saying Ian Gary is it's impossible for him to win over Islam, but that will be if Islam try to outbox him, or maybe try to do really things that are not smart at all, as Topuria and Kamzat Chimaev did. Kamzat Chimaev and Ilya Topuria uh, there was not, they were not respecting their opponents at all. Uh, they underestimated them. They underestimated at a point that uh, yeah, they really neglected their fighting camp, in my opinion. But I do think, and I will go and back and rewatch their previous fights for both of them. But I think uh, just going through my logic, I just think Islam Makachev will win over Ian Gary. Not, I don't. I'm not saying that it will be an easy fight, but I think Islam has gone through those types of wars many times, that he will know what to do against Ian Gary. It won't be an easy fight, but I think he will win. So don't forget to share your thoughts as well. So what you think, and please don't forget to subscribe. It's really important. And see you next time for more upcoming videos.